The Democrats and the left have forsaken anything that once made them a viable and legitimate political force. Tulsi Gabbard, Joe Rogan, Glenn Greenwald, Elon Musk, Jimmy Dore, and Bobby Lee have all left the left.
That liberals used to be my body, my choice. And then during COVID, they flipped and they were like, nope, it's not your choice. It's the government's choice. So that was never a principle for them. That was just a talking point around abortion. So they never were my body, my choice. It's the government's choice. That's the way they went. That's where they rolled with it. And the same thing they did with free speech. We used to be lefties, used to be the big free speech people. They turned into we need censorship. We got to censor Joe Rogan and everybody else. They used to be anti-war. They became 100% pro-war with the Ukraine war. They used to be skeptical of Big Pharma. They became the mouthpieces for Big Pharma and shamed anyone. They used to have rallies. Neil Young used to do concerts against GMOs in our own food, and then he flipped and took his music off Spotify because Joe Rogan was having the same kind of skepticism towards Big Pharma he previously used to show. And so the people, they could not have flipped more from left to right. They went from being anti-war to pro-war, from being pro-free speech to pro-censorship. Yeah. They went from pro-bodily autonomy to, no, the government gets to choose what you do with your body, which was always the thing that drove the feminists crazy who were pro-choice. They don't even say pro-choice anymore. Again, they say they're pro-abortion. That's because right. Choice makes it sound like you have a choice to do with your body.
So these white protesters who I'm absolutely positive are middle or upper class people are harassing this black man and calling him a house N-word, harassing people who are of color. There's lots of Latinos who are ICE agents.
The whole thing is it just sums up how racist the left is.
I used to be a part of the blue bubble. I was 100% a left-leaning person who lived in Los Angeles. I was 100%. I never voted Republican my whole life. I was very left-leaning, especially with any social issues. When it comes to financial things, I'm a little bit more conservative. But at the end of the day, I'm way more left than I am right. But California went nuts, man. It's gone full communist. It's out of its fucking mind. And their approach to law enforcement is so insane. It's so insane. The no cash bail, the letting people out for committing violent crimes, the fucking not stopping people for stealing up to whatever money it is. What is it, $900 now? I think they raised it. I think they made it a little higher. San Francisco is non-existent. Most of San Francisco is emptied out of big chain stores and big department stores.
I wouldn't even do stand-up there anymore.
It's crazy.
They ruined it.
They ruined the city.
Yeah,
I mean, you can bring it back. The structure's still there. But you'd have to have some hardcore Rudy Giuliani type motherfucker to come in there and knock heads.
I'm in the middle now.
I'm in the middle.
I never thought I would ever say that.
Never.
It only happened in this last year.
20 years ago, I don't know. It used to be left would be the party of empathy or caring and being nice and that kind of thing. Not the party of crushing dissent and crushing free speech, and crazy regulation and being super judgy and calling everyone a Nazi.
I left that party because it is led by an elitist cabal of woke warmongers. They are driven by an insatiable greed for power, and they are willing to do whatever they deem is necessary, even the destruction of our freedom, to get what they want and to stay in power. I joined the Democratic Party over 20 years ago. I was 21 years old in Hawaii, and at that time I saw a party that was the big tent party. It welcomed people from all different backgrounds, different views, celebrated free speech, and actually defended those whose speech was being attacked, even if they disagreed with their views. You fast forward to where we are today. I left the Democrat Party because now it stands for the exact opposite of all of those things.
And this disgust for neocons has been central to my worldview since I began writing about politics in 2005, largely motivated by contempt for the warmongering and regime change fixations and civil liberties assaults that this small but very influential faction of neocons had architected for America and deceived ordinary Americans through propaganda into believing that it was in their interest to support it. My contempt for neocons and their ideology has never wavered. But now the opposite is true for most liberal pundits and liberal elites, who now regard neocons not only as tolerable, but deeply admirable, even heroic. Liz Cheney was named by one of America's heroes for 2022 by Mother Jones.
And while the Democratic Party and the left being pro-censorship, pro-forever war, anti-bodily autonomy, anti-law and order, anti-American are all good reasons to leave the left. To me, the biggest reason to leave the left is their open support for terrorism and political violence.
Just to be clear, we are well past fuck ICE at this point. It is now fight ICE.
Oh, well, she was trying to run him over. It's self-defense. I wish she was, and I wish she did. And guess what? If she did and he died, I would have celebrated, because ICE aren't people. They're fucking demons in human form.
Yeah, just to be entirely clear here, just to not split any hairs, if you support ICE, you are just as bad as ICE. You're a cancer on humanity that should be excised. That is to say, I want you dead.
The only true way to make America great again is to kill a fucking Nazi. So good luck, Godspeed.
I have an idea. A No Kings protest, but we have weapons and we use them.
Violence against the state. The answer is violence against the state. It's always been violence, has always been the answer. If you are not loudly advocating for the death and imprisonment of almost everyone in this administration and everyone that has participated in these ICE operations, then you're a fucking collaborator.
Remember, if ICE tries to police your polling station, mark your ballot in their blood. Thank you.
If they try to break into your home without a warrant, blow their heads off.
I don't want impeachment. I don't want them to serve time. I want them taken into the city town square, hung from their ankles, and cut them from groin to chin.
I just want to know when the fuck we light the torches and get the pitchforks, because we just need to burn this bitch down and start the fuck over. So, you with me? Let's roll.
Woo! Bitch!
So, like, if you just executed one of these Nazis in broad daylight, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. 40 people were there. You didn't execute him. He was threatening your life. Jury of your peers, get out of here.
Because ICE has a violent track record of kidnappings and what now looks like murder, right? So when we see them, we don't need to be answering no questions. We don't need to be asking no questions. We just need to, whoa, hey, sir, boom. That's all I need to do. That's all we need to be doing.